With thousands of soldiers coming home from war who lost limbs or have suffered psychological trauma, someone needs to be able to teach them how to get around in their house and use their prosthetics and cope with their disabilities. Taking care of injured soldiers is just one of the jobs of an OT. Occupational therapy was founded in 1917, and before I got enrolled in the program last year, I didn't really know anything about it. I find that a lot of times people's impressions are that it helps someone find a job or helps you with your job. In regards to occupational therapy, occupation is meaningful everyday activities or activities of daily living, which we refer to as ADLs. Examples of these would be like your hobbies or self-care, like brushing your teeth or showering or brushing your hair, play or leisure, your employment, school. A lot of times we work with handwriting with children who don't have the right grasp, or kids with ADD who can't focus, or just making sure that they're able to participate in a social environment. And then I have this graph showing the core concepts of occupation, and we have health and well-being, health disparities and cultural influences on health and recovery, ethics, society and social justice, rehabilitation science, engagement, activity and neuroscience, community reintegration and social participation, and family life. People in OT work with all ages of people and in a variety of different settings, whether it be hospitals or outpatient clinics, school systems, mental health clinics, nursing homes, home health, or community agencies. Common interventions that we work with are people recovering from any sort of injury. We help kids in school, like I said, with handwriting and focusing and being able to work in a classroom rather than going out into a different classroom and working alone. We also work with adults who need interventions for physical or cognitive impairments. We do a lot of evaluations of a patient's home and other environments that they're often in to make sure that they're safe and they're easy for them to get around in. Say if they had a wheelchair or a walker or crutches, we have to make sure that it's a safe enough environment and there's no potential injuries. We also make recommendations for adaptive equipment, say a reacher if someone can't reach up high enough or they don't have a good enough grasp, or we have extended handle like spoons or thicker handled spoons if they don't have a good enough grasp, or even prosthetics. And then we also need to make sure that we educate the family and the caregiver on everything from the treatments to the prosthetics and how often you have to do the treatments to make sure that there are no potential injuries. I found that the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics names occupational therapy one of today's fastest growing jobs. And I have this chart that says projected growth of occupational therapist jobs. In 2008, it was at 105,000, and in 2018, they predict it to be at 130,000. So, and the dotted line below says projected growth of all civilian jobs, which is from 105,000, and in 2018, it's about 110,000. So, there are also 324 colleges and university-based programs in occupational therapy nationwide, and there's 3 currently in North Dakota. We have the University of Mary in Bismarck, the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, and the North Dakota State College of Science in Wahpeton. A lot of questions that I get are, what's the difference between the occupational therapist and the occupational therapist assistant? Well, they have two different roles. The occupational therapist is a graduate of a college or university with a master's degree in occupational therapy, and they are responsible for the overall treatment of the patient from the first evaluation to discharge. And the OTA is a graduate of an associate's degree program and works under the supervision of an occupational therapist. OTAs have the ability to deliver treatment directly to the patient, develop treatment plans with the occupational therapist. We do a lot of documentation on the treatment sessions, whether it be comments that the patient made or how they're progressing or if they're not progressing, and we also adjust the treatment plans if needed. Another common question is, are OTs and physical therapists the same thing? No, they are not the same thing. OTs work with not only physical disabilities, but psychological and social disabilities too. Generally, the two therapists use the same techniques but have different goals, and a lot of times they work together in the same treatments. OT helps people with a broad range of disabilities, from developmentally disabled child to an injured soldier or a car accident victim, or even an elder in a nursing home who suffered a stroke. It's important that we have people continuing to be in this career.